Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Home of Politics. It's my pleasure to have you in this channel. I appreciate your support. For those who are subscribing, sharing, liking my videos, for those who are commenting in the comment section, please feel much appreciated. More so, tap the subscription button and the notification so that you cannot miss out on the information whenever I upload. My good people, we have been seeing this country the way it have been going politically because of issues here and there, and since 2022 when the new government picked, we have had a series of events, and the opposition championed by Raila Odinga was one of the group that was championing President William Samoei Ruto must go, and it has not been possible due to a series of events. And we see the way Raila Odinga decided to hold things and to control the situation. It was the period when demonstrations were present. He decided to organize for dialogue, whereby the NADCO report, they implemented some of them and others did not. And we have been seeing recently the leader of opposition Raila Odinga and President William Samoei Ruto decided to sign a memorandum of understanding whereby it has allowed Raila Odinga to work together with President William Samoei Ruto with conditions of 10 strong points that the opposition want the government to implement, so that to make the life of the citizen to be easier and to cater for their plea. And so it have suddenly turned out that President William Samoei Ruto is being defended or covered very much by Raila Odinga. And today, while at Machakos attending a funeral ceremony, Raila Odinga defended President William Samoei Ruto against the narrative of Ruto must go. And it is something that we did not expect, because we have been seeing a lot of people have been wanting this leader to be out of office. And critically, if we can analyze what is making this leader to stand on the position of defending President William Samoei Ruto, then you can understand that there is a big deal behind it. But before we continue, here is the tip about how Raila was talking.
Unasema Ruto aende. Aende alafu nani ifanyike? Mbeleni pale Ruto aende aweke Gachagua. Sasa Ruto aende, Kindiki aende abaki pale. Baadaye Kindiki aende weke mtu mwingine. Hakuna haja. 27 itafika. Lakini Wakenya wako na shida, mpaka ya shida yatatuliwe sasa, sio siku nyingine. Hatuwezi kupiga siasa miaka 5 yote mfululizo. Nchi haiwezi kuendelea mbele. Maana yake mkiweka nchi katika hali ya campaign, kelele mingi zaidi, kuna kazi inafanyika, mpaka kuwe na wakati ambaye kazi inafanywa, alafu baadaye tunarudi tena kwa campaign. Si namna hiyo? Hiyo ndio mimi najua, ndio sababu mnaona baba ako hapa, na mimi nilisema, niliuliza Wakenya kama mnataka niendelee, wakaniambia endelea. Baba endelee, si endelee? Endelee.
My good people, because we see Raila Odinga does not benefit anything or does not find it suitable to chase President William Samoei Ruto from the office, then there is a big reason behind it. And critically analyzing this, we find that number one, Raila Odinga has the priority of the national stability in Kenya. This is because we saw the time when there was a lot of demonstration, there was a lot of issues that made instability to prevail in Kenya. More youths lost their lives. A lot of people lost their businesses, because when demonstration occurs, there's a lot of destruction of properties, theft, looting, and there was things that brought a lot of loss. And so, due to stability or the priority of Raila Odinga that is prioritizing in Kenya, then he feels like stability in Kenya is very essential. And so, to avoid unrest and further instability in Kenya, then this issue of Ruto must go is against Raila's narrative right now as we speak, because the stability of the nation or peace is very significant for this leader. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been seeing the way Raila Odinga is approaching issues, even if it is critical. Then we later ask ourselves, why is he slow? Because he knows prioritizing dialogue or peaceful negotiation is a core thing in solving or settling political challenges. And so we see he is advocating for national dialogues, or is promoting dialogues in order for him to solve problems. For example, we have been seeing the NADCO report. This is the National Dialogue Committee that was formed to address several issues in Kenya that Kenyans were raising. For example, high cost of living, high food prices, high taxation, high living standards, a lot of things that were escalating. And so going to the street and other things, using force, did not help to settle anything, according to Raila Odinga. And that's why Raila Odinga with his team decided to call for negotiation, whereby both teams were present on the table, and it really brought fruits, because we see a halfway has been implemented and another it is yet to be implemented. For example, the dialogue gave birth to this signing in of the memorandum of understanding between Raila Odinga and William Ruto, whereby this treaty is allowing the two leaders to work together and to see the development or fulfillment of the promises and catering for the interest of citizens of Kenya. And so, bearing in mind that Raila Odinga prioritizes dialogue, and it's not for the first time dialogue is working best for his ground. It has happened for a very long period, and so opting for this dialogue for Raila Odinga, it is a good approach than removing the president from the office, of which it will not solve anything according to Raila Odinga, but it will bring a lot of harm. For example, we have earlier said that he is prioritizing a lot of political stability or peace of the nation, and so he cannot opt for the removal of this leader from office. Rather, he wants a lot of dialogue which will settle a lot of problems. My good people, we are seeing that apart from the 2 points that we have analyzed, we see procedural and constitutional removal or impeachment of a president from his office. It is something that requires concrete and tangible evidences, and it must be a serious constitutional violation, not only bringing up rumors here and there that can be very fruitful to impeach a president. And because of this, Raila Odinga knows that lack of concrete evidence to remove President William Samoei Ruto from office can bring a lot of implications later in politics, because Raila Odinga will be seen as an opportunist, a leader who wants best for himself without considering the nation and peace of the nation. For example, the reasons as to why citizens have been chanting Ruto must go, one reason is the high food prices, high taxation. We also see high cost of living, unemployment. And seriously speaking, the president came out explaining the reasons as to why the taxes are high, why the food prices are high, and in one way or another, it was understandable that during that time, the harvesting season of food was still far, and so the food prices was high because the food present in Kenya was minimal. Again, high taxation was imposed because Kenya has a lot of debts, and as we speak right now, a lot of foreign donation has been frozen, and Kenya as an independent nation should depend on itself to settle its problems. And so, ladies and gentlemen, issues of high taxation, then we see it is another strategy of the government to fill in its loopholes so that it can sustain its population. And according to how we can follow up with the constitutional procedures of impeaching or removal of a president from office, it requires a very serious violation of the constitution, but it should not be under political grounds to impeach the president. And because Raila Odinga understands that it is a complex procedure to impeach a president from the office, then he is not advertising for that removal of the president, because he knows the procedure is tough, it is complex, and if they will lack tangible evidence or concrete evidence to remove President William Samoei Ruto, then it can backfire and Kenya will not be at peace or stable again. And it means that we will not realize any development any of the implementation of the manifesto that this government brought in during the election. My good people, we also understand that every political leader have a strategy, and so it have been a strategy of Raila Odinga to remain very relevant in Kenya's politics for decades. This is because other leaders have been coming and going, but for Raila Odinga is very prominent leader. And so Raila Odinga understands that even if today he wakes up in the morning, President William Samoei Ruto have been chased away from the office, it will be none of Raila Odinga's business to replace President William Samoei Ruto. This is because, for instance, the president is out of the office, then the deputy president will take his place or his position. And for the opposition leader, there is nothing he will benefit from those sharing of seats and opportunities that will be vacant in the office. And instead, Raila Odinga has opted for signing in of a peaceful memorandum of understanding so that he can work with the government and have some small portions of what the government will offer him. For example, the opportunities of ODM members that have been given as CSS in the government. And so chasing President William Samoei Ruto out of the office will rather increase enmity between these political leaders, which they have worked together since they started politics. And so it is a big strategy that Raila Odinga is having to work with this president, simply because if he wants to remain relevant and to prove to Kenyans that this president was weak or having weaknesses, he has come to help him run the government. And so come 2027, if he will be willing to run for the presidential candidate, then he can stand away from this president and stand to say, he was not able to do this and I came to help him. Then you can even elect me so that I can run this country, because you saw I have the capabilities of doing this and this. I did not spoil the reputation. I did not bring in instabilities. Instead, I brought a lot of peace and calming down every situation that was going bad. And so it is one way that Raila Odinga sees it is a strategy that is having in politics. Instead of chasing away the president, he is working with him so that he can remain relevant. My good people, those are just my analysis, and if you feel you've got a different idea about this analysis, please share with me in the comment section as the reasons why this opposition leader is not willing to send or supporting the removal of President William Samoei Ruto in the office. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. Like this video, share it widely. Have a good day.